I am Thor, King, God of Thunder, and I am Steve Rogers, Captain America. Perhaps we should team up and find the rest of the Avengers to get... Oh, snap. My bad. Guess I didn't, guess I didn't see you there. Sorry about that. I just, my bad. Woo! Alright, so, I guess proper intro. Hey, but since you're here, welcome back to the channel. Always catching me in my most private of moments, but hey, that's what I am, and I'm open book. And the only thing you'll see more of the glare on my glasses is me just messing around. But welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome to the Lazy Ass Samurai YouTube channel. And today, you know, honestly, I got this idea for the video after my vinyl collection video kind of blew up. And it's not like I'm looking for more views or anything like that. But just that feeling of sharing my collection and seeing how many people kind of came to my channel for that and then realized that it wasn't that, but still came and left comments and stuff. I really like that feeling. So I'm like, I mean, come on now. If my videos haven't told you anything about me by now, I'm a man of many culture, of many fandoms. And obviously, I'm a comic book fan first, above all else. So I thought, heck, why not just share my collection? I know, it might seem like a lot, but this is only part one. If you look at the title, it's only part one of a 3-part thing that I'm going to do, where it's going to be Marvel Comics for part one, then we're going to go into DC, and then we're going to go into others. Or I might reverse that and do Marvel, others, DC, do like a sandwich sort of deal, because I have a lot of different comic books, and they're mainly collected editions. I don't really have any single issues or trade paperbacks, really, except for a small stack, I feel like. But that's the order that I'm going to go in. I'm going to go with my single issues, and I'm going to go with my collected editions. And it wasn't until now, as I'm laying my comic collection out on my bed, didn't realize that I have a predominantly Spider-Man based collection, which I'm not surprised, but I'm also sort of surprised, but not surprised. I mean, if we looked at my digital catalog, you know, through like Comixology and the Marvel Comics app, and, you know, all the sales I've taken advantage of and all the free comics I've gotten through there, which I could do as a bonus thing some other time, but that's more diverse. But I guess, like, physically speaking, I have a bit of a Spider-Man thing. So anyways, let's start off with my very first comic book I've ever owned, which happens to be Spider-Man 2099. Didn't know anything of the story. I read it, and I was like, this is crazy. The only Spider-Man I knew at this point was literally Peter Parker. Just the classic Sam Raimi iteration by this point in time. So I'm reading this dude. He's got a skull on his chest. He's got talons, and it's really interesting, and it's really cool. It was actually a birthday gift. My father was deployed at the time, and he got a hold of some comics and sent them back from Iraq. So this was what I got. I got the first 10 issues, actually. So we have the first issue, and we have the second issue. The High Tech Hunt is on. I haven't read these recently, but I was always rereading them when I was younger and I first got them because I thought it was so cool. This is the third issue. This is the fourth issue right here, which I'm just now realizing that guy looks pretty much like a samurai, a high-tech futuristic samurai, the Specialist. Again, I can't remember much about these, but I can remember falling in love with the character, which is funny. Well, not really funny, but so that was the fifth issue. Then we got the sixth issue. Downtown is Deadly. That's when Spider-Man finds himself in the slums, because this is like your classic cyberpunk city, which is like verticality is through the roof, and if you're like below 0, that's the slums. And then we've got the Vulture 2099, and it's just interesting. And then we've also got 8th issue, Attack of the Freakers, and then we've got Everybody Wants to Be Spider-Man 2099, and then we finally have the 10th issue, which is Spider-Man 2099 Behind the Mask. It was the first 10 issues of the comic that I got, and that was what really started my collection. Even though these were all received at the same time, I'd have to say that it's kind of what started my love for comics. So, that's why. And that's why I love comics, and it's for everybody. Just kidding. But we also have these, which I completely forgot that I had. Trying to remember when I got these or how I got these. Certainly didn't pay for them, but I'm pretty sure a close friend of mine gave them to me a long time ago. But they're basically the supersized 30th anniversary editions of The Amazing Spider-Man. So issue 3, this one's issue 365, and it's got like I don't know if you can see, but it's like a holographic sort of cover deal. And it's not just this one. There's this one, and we have issue 189, which also is like a supersized, like, 30th anniversary edition with another holographic cover. And then I've got 2 more. So we've got this one, which is issue 26, and also the same kind of deal. Again, I can't remember where I got these from. I was literally going through my comics collection trying to pick out every Marvel comic I had, and I came across these. So they're all, I just remembered, or I just looked, and they're all different. So we've got, this one's Web of Spider-Man, this one's just straight up Spider-Man, this one's the Spectacular Spider-Man, and then we have the Amazing Spider-Man. So on all these different runs that were going on at the time, they all had a commemorative 30th anniversary issue put out for that story, which I thought was pretty sweet. And my cat has made a return, always when I'm trying to do stuff. And then I also have this just first limited series issue of Spider-Woman. It's not really anything special, but I thought it was kind of cool because this one's kind of thick. And I think there might be a DC comic hiding behind it. Oh, no. We also have this one right here, The Amazing Spider-Man. This one we had Ben Reilly hopping out the... So, you know, I have a fair amount of comics. And these are just the trade back. Like, these are just the single issues that I happen to own. Next, we get into the more collected stuff. And as you probably expect by now, I mean, this will be done on a later video set to come out. Maybe next month, hopefully, if things work out. Because it is the 10-year anniversary of this character. But obviously, I had to have the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, like, Ultimate Collection volume. So I've got the first volume right here. What got me into Miles Morales, what had me fall in love with him, and his story, and everything. And again, I never read the Ultimate, like, Marvel run up until Miles was introduced. So I'm just in here like, oh my god, Spider-Man's like... And I'm like, whoa! So, but it's really interesting. I love the take. I know this was kind of what happened in these books, kind of ended up getting retconned during the Secret Wars. Mainly because, you know, that's when all the multiverses kind of converged. And there was that kind of thing going on, and Miles got that deal for, you know, helping out, yeah. So, of course, a lot of what happens in these comics is no longer, like, canon, technically, I want to say, at least within the current run of Spider-Man. But I still loved reading these again and again and again, like, from my sophomore through senior year when I fell in love with the character of Miles Morales. And I will touch more on that and my kind of experience with it and why he's my favorite comic book character of all time at a later date. But for now, this is what got me into these collected issues, these collected editions of his tale as it stood before Secret Wars, before things popped off. And then next, after that, it was funny because those comics I got my sophomore year, and I read through them a ton. And I was like, all in. Probably a lazy-ass story time later on, but I actually had 2 surgeries done on my spine due to a severe case of scoliosis. So before the first surgery, I'm thinking like, man, I'll be laid up in this hospital for a while because that's my whole spinal issue going on there. You know, the whole, yeah. So I was like, man, I should really, like, stock up on books because I'm such a dork. And I don't know where the slipcover went for this, and I hate myself for losing it, but trust me, this is Spider-Verse. This is the Spider-Verse story. So this is, as you can see, all the different Spider-Mans and Womans all together. And then my boy Miles repping in the back right there next to Spider-Punk, who also happens to be a black Spider-Man, which is really cool. But yeah, no, this is what introduced me. You know how I mentioned that, like when I first started reading Spider-Man 2099, I was unaware that there were other Spider-Man outside of Peter Parker. This, including Miles Morales, kind of threw that out the window and showed me that there's literally a Spider-Verse. And I loved this comic through and through. I read it multiple times. And then when Into the Spider-Verse came out, I was super excited. Just as excited as I am for the sequel to hit theaters. But yeah, this is one of the books I got before my first surgery. And I remember it was so impactful because I'm just like, what the heck? Like, this actually took my mind away from any fear that I had over my back being cut open. And I thought that was like the most, I don't know, calming thing to put my mind at ease. Because I'm just like, man, I thought I had it bad. They've got literal, like, spider-sucking vampires. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Like, these vampire dudes, they were coming through and they eat Spider-Men, like Spider people, they do like their soul. So, you know, it was like Mortal Kombat, like he's about to get his soul sucked. It's kind of like that. Anyways, they were feasted on Spider people, and I'm over here like, man, they're just trying to stay alive, and I'm just about to go get my back cut open, so that's not even really a thing. And then a lot of time passed after that before I got another Marvel comic, because I'm looking at my collection as it stands. And there's a huge gap between this, which was sophomore, junior year of high school, around that time period. And then these next collected editions were like last year, or like the year before for my birthday. So, I know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, you already have the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man. What are you doing with it? Well, when I tell you I'm a Miles Morales fan, I mean it wholeheartedly. And I don't mean to be the toxic kind who's just always in your ear about it, but I'm going to be the toxic kind who's always in your ear about it because of the passion that burns within my heart, okay? So let me get this bad boy up here. So this is the Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus. We're talking the homies Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pacelli. Oh, and David Marquez and Justin Concert. I don't, but this, yes, I know. You'll be thinking, like, this literally covers the exact same run as these. So you're like, what is your why? Why would you, like, even the same first couple of pages are very similar to one another and kind of how they're made. Like, look, there we go. I had to look for a comparison shot. So we've got this page from the smaller one, and we also got that page in the Bible-sized omnibus. So yes, they really do have the same content. Oh my gosh, I never took the slipcover off of this. I'm not gonna lose this one, I promise. But ooh, shee! Oh my god. Yes, no. So I do understand your point here. Like, why would you do that? It's like if you own a movie physically, why buy it digitally? Well, no, that doesn't really make sense. If you own a movie on Blu-ray, why buy it in 4K? Is there an alternate cover to this? Why does my... Alright, I'm sorry, I'm just going to point this out because I swear I'm just now realizing this as I'm putting the slipcase back on. Or the cover. I've got two of these joints. Alright, giveaway time. I'm just kidding. But why do I have two of these? Like, what is that? Maybe to kind of like hold up, because I feel like maybe one would just be too weak for like literally a Bible-sized compendium of comic books. Which, fun fact, isn't even my biggest comic that I own. I'm looking at the other two right now, and I can't wait to show you guys those in my second part, potentially third part of my comic collection series. But yeah, no, I have two slipcases. That's interesting. Probably for the best. No, but back to my point. Yes, of course, these are the same as these. But this was released later on, and this includes both Spider-Man storylines, as well as a lot of other stuff that ultimately wasn't in the Ultimate Collection. So it's really false advertisement correcting itself. I know. Trust me, I had to justify this to my own mother when she found out that I had acquired the exact same thing. But, it's not the exact same thing. What happened after Secret Wars and after a lot of the history was retconned from the original Ultimate Comics run because the Ultimate Universe doesn't exist anymore. We have a much smaller omnibus, unfortunately, but still an amazing run on Miles Morales' story. He's a little more mature now. He encounters a lot more people, makes some more friends. Uncle Aaron pulls up. You got Nova. He meets Kamala Khan. It's like the champions. And then also, I haven't read the run, but there's also like a younger Avengers sort of champion sort of deal going on. But yeah, it's just a really great run. Gold Balls is in it. There's a lot to love in it. And then it was during this time that there's that story with Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy. Ooh. I haven't taken this slipcover off either. I'm sorry. This is just like, look at this. Like all the key fire moments in this. That should look familiar. Well, not slump like that, but yo, that's like really fire. Anyways, I feel like this is great. I really think this is great. Even says on the back, the Ultimate Spider-Man joins the Marvel Universe, because like, long story short, there was... I already told you. So basically, he's not in the ultimate Marvel Universe anymore. He's in the mainline continuity now, which is great, because my man deserves all that respect. But yeah, no, that's really dope. I forgot where I was going with this, but I took the slipcase off, and I got another surprise, and this is the next thing in my collection, right here. Really great. Got it at the same time as the other omnibus dropped. Actually, no, a couple months after that one dropped. And I was like, if I had to, really, if there's one thing I would include, though, I know it's kind of cheap, but I would like to see the Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen sitting in a tree storyline. Where, wait, is it in here?
Watch me, like, literally call myself out. Spider-Gwen. I don't know.
We'll have to look into that. If I'm wrong, then call me an idiot in the comments. And then after that, there was like another couple year gap, and we are on my most recent additions to my collection. Like I said, this is the Marvel portion of this like series is actually a lot shorter than I thought, solely because this is like the last actual comic that I purchased, and I haven't even opened it yet. But it just dropped June, and I happen to have a hookup. I happen to have a close friend of mine, who hooked me up with not only a deal on this exact omnibus, but also the variant edition of it. Because if you would look it up on Amazon, you would see one version of this, and if you're looking at this video right now, you would see this version of it. Yes, sir. I'm not getting enough Miles Morales content. Oh, I forgot to put Shockwaves in the video. I wouldn't count that as a comic. It's a graphic novel for kids. But I'm not getting a lot of Miles content. So I'm about to dive. Well, there's King in Black, and there's also like the Carnage run, and there's like the symbiote type of deal stuff going on. But I'm not really into that right now. I'm really behind on comics, as you can probably tell. But I happen to have in my possession the Spider-Gwen omnibus. As you can see, it's been unopened. I haven't even opened it yet. I got it like a couple weeks ago in the mail because it dropped just recently. And it is, chef's kiss. Like I said, the one on Amazon does not look like this variant edition, which looks so freaking dope compared to the kind of bland cover that you would be getting on Amazon. And look at the back. Look, I have yet to start reading this, but who knows? Maybe maybe when I do, it's probably like 4th or 5th in my reading list, right after I tackle the Invincible comics. But when I get into this, who knows? I might be inclined to do videos on this, because it's a hefty book, and from the looks of the back, we get a whole lot of story in there. We get Edge of the Spider-Verse #2, Spider-Gwen #1 through 5, Spider-Gwen #1 through 34, Spider-Gwen Annual #1, All New Wolverine Annual #1, Spider-Woman Spider-Woman Alpha and Omega, Silk 7 through 8, Spider-Woman, Spider-Man. We get all those in here. I would say almost as big as this one right here, but not quite. I just have a lot of reading material. And then, what was that? Did you hear the sirens? Bonus time! Sorry. So, since my collection isn't that big, and these aren't technically comics, but they are on the comics. They are also on the Comixology app available for purchase, as well as the Marvel Comics app available for purchase. So, I would deem anything on there to be within the realms of comic books. So, I just got these. I'm a fan of music as well, as you would know. I got me these. We've got the Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Marvel Hip Hop Covers line. Now, I'll let you give it a second to look at these as best as you can. You can pause the video if you want, see if you can recognize. And actually, in the comments, let me know how many of these you can recognize. How many of these can you spot just from the cover alone? Like, go ahead and take a moment to pause, because I'm not going to sit here all day. But, obviously, you see Tyler, the Creator, Nas. Anyways, I'm not going to let you get into it. But, these are just great books that I didn't even know existed, where they take covers, obviously hip-hop covers, and turn them into Marvel versions, like Drake. But he's the Silver Surfer. And it's really cool. So this is Volume 1, and then this is Volume 2. Do the same. See if you can pause it. Trying to get a good get a good angle. Try to pause the video and let me know how many you recognize from Volume 1 or Volume 2, or even both if you're a hip-hop enthusiast. If you made it this far in the video, I might as well give you something to do, because, this one's a bit easier to recognize some of these. But yeah, so that's it for my collection. Like I said, not too dense. Obviously, I filled in a little bit, but there's not really a lot here. But do not fret. For the next part, probably won't be as dense either, but once we hit my DC comic book collection, I tell you this, it may be the longest YouTube video that I put out. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tune in next time. I don't know if I'm diving straight into part 2 or if I'm going to do a little short video between now and then, because I don't know, I might just wake up and be like, hey, I want to do a video on something. So we'll just see, but by all means, leave a comment and like below. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for subscribing. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, and most importantly of all, stay lazy. I'll catch you next time, my friends.